right. Shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all for being in the live, man. Much love. Big Q representing the Who Dat Nation. Sports Coma is in the building. Big ups to the fam. Man, let's get right into this article right here, man, as we talk about two players. I'm going to give you guys two players who I believe you should be looking at that cut line. Now, there was an article that we seen about Alvin Kamara, and they talking about why Alvin Kamara should be released. But these are two candidates, definitely restructure candidates, if not outright cut candidates for an improved player. Now, they got other players that are definitely outperforming these players, and we'll talk about them on this episode of the show. Please feel free to hit the like button and the sub button. Shout out to FanDuel, the official sponsor of the Sports Coma. For all your betting needs, get at FanDuel. Y'all like the like button up, the share button, the notification bells, as well as we get going in this broadcast. Shout out to the Canal Street Chronicles on the scoop. They're covering it. The Saints traded for Davon Godchaux, a seventh-round pick, this year's seventh-round pick to New England for Godchaux. It's one of the first moves that the Saints did when they came into this thing. Ultimately, Godchaux's first year in the black and gold was underwhelming, as the Saints' run defense remains a work in progress. The 31-year-old appeared in 17 games for New Orleans in 2025, recorded 43 total tackles, 14 solos, 16 stops, 9 total pressures, 2 tackles for a loss, and forced a fumble on 455 snaps while posting a career-low 47.5 run defense grade from the PFF. Now, Godchaux's a Plaquemine, Louisiana native and former LSU Tiger, restructuring his deal right after his trade to the Saints. He is signed through the 26th season, but void years were added with a 25 base of 1.255 and a $3.195 million signing bonus for 50,000 workout bonus. $3 million of the 2026 base salary is guaranteed. Now, Davon Godchaux is a player that I like a lot. I think Davon Godchaux is a hard-working interior defensive lineman who really, man, listen, man. I like Davon Godchaux, but it just didn't work this year. And that's the thing that you be looking at. It's like, okay, with Davon Godchaux plugging up or being a nose tackle in Staley's system, it didn't look right. You know, early on, it just didn't have the same knockdown, drag out effect that you expected them to have in previous incarnations when you see them in the Patriot land, all this kind of stuff. And ultimately, as the season progressed, he was basically taken out of the lineup for other people. You started seeing a lot of other people in there performing outside of Davon. You know, Davon was out of there, right? We seen some of this happen. Like, you can see some of his numbers right here. But it was very, and the writers being nice, it was very underwhelming. It wasn't really good. It actually stunk, to be honest with you. I was looking for a lot better performance for Davon Godchaux. And really, I was disappointed with his performance. But his money is very interesting as well, because the Saints will, you know, like with anything, if you're looking at your team and you're wondering what a guy is making and how it's going to be, and for the New Orleans Saints, and you want to see production, money meet production, that's the first thing you do. These are two guys that stick out like a sore thumb. Here's Davon Godchaux's numbers for 2026. You can see his base salary at $6.4 million. The paraded signing bonus is $639, and that's split between three actually phantom years for the Saints. So you got several phantom years that the Saints will be playing Davon Godchaux for since from 27 to 29 after he's done playing. But you can see his cap number at 7.1 plus, guaranteed salary of $3 million. And then you ultimately could see what his salary will look now according to over the cap. Now, this is the number that you want to look at. When we talk about judging these contracts, these are the numbers that you kind of look at. And as you pay attention to Davon Godchaux's 26 number, you can see that the 6.4 is the base salary. You see the workout bonuses. You see the guaranteed money on his contract. He gets $3 million guaranteed number. You can see the cap hit at 7.1. But the number that I want you to pay attention to is in that pink box, the first pink box, the dead cap and cap savings, which is the pre-June 1st numbers and the post-June 1st numbers, right? So you can see the pre-cut numbers right here. You can see right here the post June 1st numbers right here. You can see he'll leave your books at 5.5, or if you cut them, it's 1.5 plus post. As you can see, June numbers. If you release them, you get $3.6 million of dead money, and then you get a cap savings of 3.5. So you get a large chunk of what he is, and he's a 32-year-old defensive tackle, or nose guard rather, that's playing for the Saints. But as you can see, if the Saints, according to Over the Cap, do a post June 1st cut on Davon Godchaux, that's $6.4 million base salary, they can save 3.5 mil of it. So you save more than half of the money if you see what I'm saying? You post June 1st cut Davon Godchaux. And the reason why I'm saying that is because, like I said, I just think that other players simply outplayed him at the position. If you want to be if I'm being candid with you, you guys know it and I know it. And of course, guys like Jonathan Bullitt, Jonah Williams, you seen John Ridgway get in there and play. We got Brian Bressees banged up, but he plays the opposite side of that package. But you see Nate Shepard. Nate Shepard was a large benefactor. We still got Christian Boyd. We still don't know who Christian Boyd is. He played decently. Nate Shepard, Christian Boyd's there. We'll see Vernon Brockton thrown in at the inside there. John Ridgway, I think he'll be a free agent this year. And, of course, the Saints are going to add more talent there. But for $6 million, and then if you release him post June 1st, you get $3.5 million. That's what makes him a cut candidate in my book, where production does not meet money. That is Davon Godchaux, in my opinion. All right, anyway, let's keep it going. And like I said, the numbers it just didn't look right this year for him. Now, he did have, and I don't want to get it wrong, the man did have 43 total tackles on the season, right? He played a great deal of the snaps. It just wasn't hitting. He was relegated to a backup role. When you start seeing guys like Bressees, Nate Shepard, they even kicked Cam inside on some of that stuff. You started to see John Ridgway activated, him playing. Christian Boyd started getting minutes. And like I said, those guys, Jonah Williams was kicked inside on some of those packages. And Davon Godchaux just was kind of rolled off to the set. So I don't see the Saints keeping him at that number, or even reworking him. This is the final year of his agreement with the team. So, you could post June 1st cut, get 3.5 on the books this year. Is all I'm saying. How y'all feel about that? Let me know in the chat. The next guy I want to kind of go into and talk about as well is Isaac Yiadom. Yiadom is another guy, two guys to kind of talk about. Yiadom is the other guy to kind of talk about with this team. Shout out to Bob. Bob did the recapping of Isaac Yiadom's season with the black and gold. And he's another one of these players that you want to take a look at, because number one, Alontae Taylor's leaving. And that means if he leaves, let's say if he leaves, the Saints do have pieces available in free agency, or players, or people rather, in free agency they can go after. Kool-Aid McKinstry is the top guy. You have Quincy Riley there. Alontae, if he leaves, that'll leave an opening. But the Saints have particularly might have options there. Isaac Yiadom is the top guy there. Maybe he steps up. Then there are unproven guys like Beanie Bishop Jr., Rajon Wright, Jaden Price. Some of these guys available. The Saints could ultimately elect to go into free agency and get a couple of cornerbacks. We know Mike Davis was signed to the team. Dallas Beanham is still on the team as well. These are unproven guys. So the Saints are most certainly going to look into free agency to see if they can net them another guy. If Alontae leaves, they're going to definitely approach it in free agency and perhaps the draft as well. Maybe double dip that thing, right, to kind of improve it. But Isaac Yiadom, to me, is a guy, man, really, he started off the year. We know ultimately what was going to end up happening with him was they were going to move him out for Quincy Riley, and that's exactly what the Saints did. Quincy Riley stepped in there, and he never looked back. And Isaac Yiadom, as a result, became an expensive fourth cornerback for what the Saints were playing him. Last year, 26 total tackles, 19 solo of it, and didn't get any picks or interceptions or anything. He just didn't look like what he looked like previously. He's touching down at 29. And the Saints have some thinking to do on guys like Isaac Yiadom. Let's approach this article right here, thanks to Saints Wire. Yiadom parlayed a strong 2023 season with the Saints into a one-year free agent contract with the Niners. After one season with the Niners, the Saints brought Yiadom back on the three-year deal last season. It was quite a change for a player that had bounced around the NFL. Now, if you remember, the Saints were attempting to get another defensive back, which name escapes me at the moment. Y'all, if you remember his name, put it in the chat, because I forgot the guy. But the Saints were trying, I think he went to the Indianapolis Colts. They were trying to get this cornerback, and he decided to go to the Colts. I think they paid him more money, obviously. And then the Saints then bounced to Isaac Yiadom, right? They kind of pivoted to Yiadom. But y'all, I just wanted to say that. Third round choice out of Boston College by the Broncos in the 2018 draft. He's been with 4 different teams before being signed with the Saints to close out the 23 campaign. The 2024 injuries thrust him into a major role for New Orleans. He responded with an interception, 14 passes broken up, and a 49% completion percentage rate when targeted. A solid season with the Niners was enough for the Saints to pursue him for a return. Here's how the reunion turned out. Yiadom in review. We know his size, 8 years, 3 of them with the Saints. He had 14 games, 1 start. As expected, Yiadom opened up the year as the starting cornerback along with Kool-Aid McKinstry. Growing pains were expected with the Saints losing starters Marshawn Lattimore and Paulson Debo from last year's squad. Yiadom played starter reps over the first 4 weeks, but was targeted often and with great success by opposition. He really fell apart. In the first 4 games, Yiadom allowed 13 catches on 14 targets. Wow. In man coverage, he surrendered just 1 touchdown, but gave an average of 12 yards per completion. That ain't going to cut it. And often gave up too much ground in off-ball coverage. After week 4, Yiadom was essentially benched in favor of Quincy Riley, the 4th-round pick. Once that change was made, the Saints would become one of the top passing defenses in the NFL. That's Bob letting you know. Over the rest of the season, as Yiadom, he played only 7 defensive snaps over the year's last 13 games. He remained active on special teams, logging a total of 167 snaps on those units, and Yiadom had a total of 147 defensive snaps on the year, not giving up a almost 87% completion rate with no pass breakups and 26 total tackles. He signed a 3-year contract last offseason. Yiadom will count $3.5 million against the salary cap in 2026 and could be an offseason cap casualty. Absolutely. Absolutely. Isaac Yiadom, to me, is definitely that guy, right? And we talk about this all the time here. That's why I put him and Davon Godchaux on the same list, where production doesn't meet the money, and that's what we're showing here. That's what makes you a cap casualty, when the production does not meet the money and you have to get up out of here. So we see Davon Godchaux with his money. We see Isaac Yiadom. According to Over the Cap, Davon Godchaux, if we cut him post June 1st, the Saints get $3.5 million on the cap. Well, Isaac Yiadom, let me get his figures up. With Yiadom on the books, and these are just 2 guys that I'm just calling out, period, because both of these guys were outplayed by guys underneath them, right? We know that Davon Godchaux started the year off, and then ultimately he was benched, right? We know he was moved out for Nate Shepard and others. Same thing with Isaac Yiadom. Quincy Riley was then benched. I was surprised when the Saints gave Yiadom a 3-year contract. I was surprised by that. I thought maybe a 1-year prove-it deal. Right? His base salary last year was 1.2. This year, he got 2 years remaining on the contract at 2.5 this year and 2.6 next year. Now, if Alontae Taylor leaves, then Isaac Yiadom would be the guy that's stepping at his spot on the team until the Saints sign free agents to replace or replenish the role, right? But if you look at some of the money, if the Saints will release Isaac Yiadom this year, you can see 2.5 plus on base salary. You can see his guaranteed salary is 1.5 mil. The cap number, his cap number is 3.4 plus. But look at the pink box right here. The pink box is showing you the pre-cut numbers. If the Saints released him or cut him prior to before June the 1st, this is what the dead money will look like. It'll be $2.9 million. The Saints get a cap savings of $530,000. Now, if you post June 1st cut this guy, his dead number will go from 3.4 to 2.2, and he would then have a $1.2 million cap savings for him. So releasing or post June 1st cutting Isaac Yiadom, right? the Saints, you can see the numbers right here because he got dual contracts right here. 2.2 post June 1st, because you're looking at just under $3 million in dead money when it's all said and done that you'll have to incur from Isaac Yiadom if you post June 1st cut. But the benefit of getting 1.2 million this year, and if you look at next year, it's 2.8 plus. So that bodes well. So between Davon Godchaux and Isaac Yiadom, the Saints could save almost $5 million between these two players, almost $5 million in cap savings. They're only $6 million. The Saints, are a team that's, according to over the cap, they're $6 million in the red, as you can see. So getting rid of Davon Godchaux, cutting Isaac Yiadom would put the Saints less than $1 million in the red just between those two players before you start reworking Chase Young's $14.8 million contract, before you get Carl Granderson's $10.7 million contract, before you get to Eric McCoy's $10 million a year contract, until you get to Chris Olave's reworking of his final year at 15.4, where you can rework his contract, drop that a bit. Cesar Ruiz 9.5, he still got years left. Juwan Johnson's 9+ mil. Justin Reed's 9.2. Pete Werner 6.2. You see what I'm saying? Before you even get to those savings, you can get rid of those two players whose money is not matching their production. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Anyway, that's what I got. So what do you guys think about that? What do you think? Should we post cut these guys, post June 1st cut these guys? Should they stay on the team? Should we restructure, work the contract and agreements? We know Yiadom still has an additional year this year and next year. Davon Godchaux is in the final year of his agreement, I want to say. I think he is in the final year of his deal with the Saints. Yes, he is in the final year of his deal. These are my candidates for post-June 1st cut, not AK-41, a player we could still use. If we invest in offensive line, we'll get great value out of them. But these are two players to me that lost their positions on the team. Other guys are playing better than them and are cheaper than them. So these are guys that we need to look at in terms of kind of getting rid of and opening up spots for other players. All right, what y'all think about this? Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, the share button. Shout out to FanDuel, the official sports Coma sponsor. Go to FanDuel, the app, and get y'all bets in. NBA, MLB, MMA, it doesn't matter. All bets at FanDuel. Also, feel free to join the channel as membership. We got, literally 5+ years of locked content on the Saints, on our Saints side, for patreon.com/Pro Media Network. It's my news show, On Q with Big Q. We talk about all the latest stuff, as well as drop some game. We got documentaries and shows. All kind of stuff is available at patreon.com/Pro Media Network. Link in the description section. Also check out our merch. The new merch we got, the Shuck Y'all merch, is available. 5 different designs for you guys for the Shuck Y'all merch. You can get a discount on the deal today. Check it out at our merch shop, the Pro Shop, as well. With that being said, I'm going to get on out. I'm going to holler at y'all on the next one. Much love, peace, and Who Dat Nation.
Hey, New Orleans! Whether you're catching up on Saints news at Jackson Square, checking Pelicans scores in the Garden District, or staying updated on LSU while grabbing coffee in the French Quarter, There's one place that keeps you connected to everything that matters in our city. From Bourbon Street to the Superdome, from Preservation Hall to the Riverfront, New Orleanians are staying in the know with the WhoDatDaily.com, your daily source for Saints, Pelicans, LSU, and all the sports, music, and culture that makes our city special. At work downtown, at a game in the Dome, or just relaxing by the Mississippi, wherever life takes you in the Big Easy, you can stay connected. Because when you're from New Orleans, you don't just live here. You stay in the NO. That's stay in the know. Visit the WhoDatDaily.com and never miss what matters most to Who Dat Nation.
Welcome to the Pro Shop, where we create authentic NOLA-inspired clothing for men, women, and children. From Saints jerseys to Pelicans gear, everything's crafted right here in New Orleans. Whether you're shopping the Pro Shop, the Pel Shop, or the Pro Shop Kids, we've got your whole family covered with genuine merchandise that represents our city's spirit. Check for links in the description section below or in the chat.